Reality recap.
Hi, Evelyn. Yes, I know you have the reunion. Yes, we have 2 more episodes. And then we have the reunion of
I look like the slave. I look like a mom. She was like, you the one that look like you got a high body count hair. I fell the fuck out, y'all.
Candace, has Deborah reached out to you to apologize after the episode aired showing Chris did not flirt with her?
She wouldn't dare. She would get eaten for breakfast.
Oh boy.
No, she's doubling down.
Why would you go meet with Ray J without talking to Princess or letting her know? Why? Like, she's trying to justify that she told her after the fact and not supposed to make it.
What do you think of your ex-husband Jim coming out and saying you did not try to stop him from suing Shannon and Cameron?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, if his memory is a little foggy about what transpired back then, that's okay. However, he did admit that I had nothing to do with the
Reality recap. Reality recap.
What's up, y'all? Happy Wednesday. It is your girl V with Reality Recap here for another live Tea Talk session. We are streaming live right now across Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. If you can't watch this live in its entirety, no worries. Make sure that you click the link in my bio on Instagram or Facebook. And if you already are watching from YouTube, please make sure to like this video, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you do not miss any of my recaps. Again, today we are talking about Love Hiphop Atlanta, last night's episode. So much to discuss. Kirk, Rashida, Jasmine, their custody drama, child support drama, Yandy, Jessica White, and Mandisi's drama. So much to get into. The chats are live right now. So if you have your thoughts on last night's episode, please make sure to share them, your thoughts, your questions in the chat. I will read them and put them on the screen if you are watching from Facebook or YouTube. Let's get into it. And as a reminder, I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow will be pre-recorded, so it'll be up on YouTube, recapping last night's episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as well. All right. So last night on Love Hiphop ATL, we started out with Rashida and Kurt. They are preparing Cannon's bedroom. If you don't know, Cannon is Kirk's son that he has with his, at the time, mistress Jasmine, who we've seen on the show past seasons, last season, and now on here. Jasmine apparently asked for more child support. And instead of granting her more child support, Kirk and Rashida have decided to counter that claim with asking for full custody of Cannon. Now, I have to ask myself, would they be asking for full custody if she wasn't asking for more money? And I really don't think so. In last season, Kurt didn't know Cannon's son's teacher's name, the name of his school, his birthday, how old he was. He couldn't answer any of those questions. I was also saying, you're preparing his bedroom. He's 8 years old. He hasn't had a bedroom in your house before then. It sounds like he may have been sharing with their other son, which are really around the same age because, you know, Rashida was pregnant right before Cannon came along. They're really close in age. And he didn't even think that Rashida's baby was his. Yeah, he was out doing what he was doing. Something to think about. But they were preparing a bedroom for Cannon because of they're gonna have a state board inspection at their home because they're asking for full custody of Cannon. And I was saying to myself, well, damn, didn't they agree in last season to a dollar amount? What happened to that? Did he back out of that, which Jasmine talks about a little bit later in the episode, which we'll get to. But I was wondering, they just at the Ciphers of the A concert, I struggle to call that a concert without laughing, but at that concert, he gave her a figure, an amount that was supposed to be agreed upon, and they were supposed to be moving forward. I have a piece of lint on my, like, on my eye, like something is there. Sorry, guys, but yeah, I was just wondering why she, went to court asking for more money. What happened to the agreement that they made? And then also, I don't believe that Kurt would be looking to get full custody of Cannon if she wasn't asking for more money. At this point, it's just, in my opinion, a ploy to try to stop the bleeding of giving Jasmine money. But we'll get into that as well. I also was like, Rashida at this point, she's stepping into this situation. She's saying, Ken is 8 years old. I decided to step in. I'm saying, now you want to step in? If you stay with Kurt, in my opinion, that means you are okay with the situation. So you should have been stepped in and deal with Jasmine. I particularly haven't cared for the way she's been handling, saying it like it's his problem. He deals with her, not me. Everything would be coming through me, not through not through Kirk. That's just how I would roll if I decided to stay. Everything and every conversation, every transaction, every piece of money, how much money, all that's going to be coming through me. Because let's be clear, like, not saying that Kirk is living off Rashida. I get that he has music that he's done, her music and things like that, but majority of the profits, and from what I view, is through her cosmetic line that she had, her press stores that she has. It's her ventures. And now, yeah, they have real estate together. They have a restaurant together. But the foundation of that is from Rashida's rap music. Her, I think, was it Boss Lady or something, but not, or Pressed Cosmetics, whatever she had, the cosmetics she had that she was selling before she got the stores, the clothes she was selling, all of that led to where they are now, in my opinion. So she should have been stepped in. I also was wondering, Jasmine's not making good money down at the bar. She's been at this bar as long before Cannon was born. She's been at this bar. That's where Kirk met her at. I see her on her Instagram at this bar. And I thought in Atlanta, when you're a bar star, when you're a bottle girl, I thought you make good money. So Um, again, she mentioned that last night that she's getting $1,000 a month from Kirk, and I'm saying that's a decent amount of money. Hi, Toria. Thank you for checking in on Facebook. But yeah, $1,000. I mean, the way I was looking at it, I was looking at it from both sides, right? I was looking at it like, okay, if he's in private school, that's barely just covering the private school. But if he's not in private school, $1,000 for an 8-year-old boy, when I mean, Kurt is not supposed to be covering your rent and all of that. Those are all things that you should be covering. So it is a decent amount, but listen, these kids are expensive. I got two toddlers, a 4-year-old, well, almost 4-year-old, and a 5-year-old, and that $1,000 wouldn't even cover their tuition at Catholic school. So I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like it could be a good amount, but I'm curious to see how much more she's asking for, which they didn't talk about last night. But she should also be bringing in money from her bar star lifestyle. If not, then girl, it's time to do something else. And I said that to y'all before. Jasmine's been on this show multiple times. Do something with the platform. Like, damn, sell some lashes or some clothes. Like, do something with the platform to help elevate yourself and your pockets at this point as well. Come up with a plan other than arguing and chasing around Rashida friends. Toria said no. She said that was the agreement, but he wasn't paying it, so she went to court and they gave her more. Okay, we'll get into that. We also saw Rennie and Ciara sit down last night. Rennie and Ciara, they met up to clear the air because Ciara is upset of an interview or really, I think Rennie was on like something Love and Hip Hop related. She was playing a game and they asked her who could babysit her son, her newborn son. And as far as Ciara, she was saying, Ciara always got too much commotion going on. If she didn't have all the commotion, she could babysit her son. And Ciara took offense to that. And I said to myself, here we go with Ciara. Ciara gonna find a way to make it about her every single time. She did that with her leg injury and did a tour of everybody that didn't visit her in the hospital as if she would go visit them if it was the other way around. But her and Rennie tried to have a conversation about it. And where the conversation went left for me was, see, I was bringing up how she's been there for Rennie. She, cares about Rennie, but that she was there when Rennie's mother passed away. I was like, I wouldn't have brought that up. If that's something you're doing truly, genuinely as my friend and care about me, being there for me, checking on me when my mother passed away, throwing that back in my face, not a good look. And Rennie instantly, well, I understood. Instantly, you could tell her demeanor changed, and she was upset by that. She's saying, well, look, like, first of all, if you want to get into it, you were only there when the cameras was up. And Rennie you can clearly tell that Rennie feels like Ciara is only she's a TV friend. She don't really check on her outside of that. Like that whole, after Rennie had her baby and she left for the rest of the season, do I think that Ciara was there checking on her, helping her with the baby? I do not. And she said that when you came to check on me when my mother passed, conveniently, you came when the cameras were up, and when they went down, you left, and I ain't heard from you since. So I just don't understand why she brought that up. That was a bit of a low blow, and the conversation went left from there. So they don't know where they go from there. Ciara, and that's exactly what Rennie was trying to say. Like, Ciara always in her own world. She always is. She's never really concerned with what's going on with anyone else. It's just her, her third, fourth, fifth marriage that she be on, her engagement, her ghetto girl eats, her business adventures. She is very self-absorbed. And I said that last season, the season before that. I really feel like she is self-absorbed. So Toria said, I was glad Rennie clocked Ciara. She not ready for that. Especially who Rennie ran around with. Yeah, Ciara not ready. Yeah. She gonna be like Erica Banks, but she jacked up when they met up. So you have to see. But she's very self-absorbed. And what she said about not letting her babysit, I agreed with. So we'll see what happens with their friendship. But Rennie seems perfectly fine without the friendship and positive in her peaceful space with her children, with her her son's father. She's back in the studio or making music and performing, doing those things. So I think she's just fine and without the relationship. And why was when they were talking and she mentioned Rennie's mom passing away, why she kept saying, if you want to take that out of content, if you want to take that out of content. I was looking at my husband like, do she mean out of context? I thought that was funny. I don't know. I just had to bring it up because I literally had it in my notes. What is taking it out of content? I think she meant out of context. But we then go to One Fest, a music festival in Atlanta. Saucy is supposed to be performing. He gets there. He has an early set at like 2:30 in the afternoon when the sun is beaming down. He don't want to go on stage because it's literally like only 20 people out there. But it did fill up when he got on stage. He was saying like, well, before he got out there, he was like, oh my God, my career is over. And I was saying to myself, God don't like ugly. You was saying, don't nobody know Spice. Don't nobody care about her music. Her song was clown shit. Now, Cyphers of the A was clown shit, but that doesn't take away from Spice's accomplishments. The festival she did in London, that was PopCon's festival, really, really big festival. She's known around the world. She's Grammy nominated. You got to put some respect on Spice's name. So I was saying, God trying to show you this could be you out here with 5 people singing your song and that's it. But at least the crowd did fill up once he got out there and he felt better about it. Now, speaking of spies, hey, P. Oh, look at my bestie. You're going to make me cry. I miss you, girl. I miss you and I must see you. That's for sure. Hi, JoJo. Thank you for checking in on YouTube. JoJo said it's like Ciara was saying without saying. I visited you and your mom when she was in the hospital when I really didn't have to, which is really backhanded. It was nasty work, if you ask me. That moment should have been genuine. Agree with you, JoJo. I totally agree. It was nasty work, and no real friend would say that to nobody
about, yeah, I was there for you when your mother died, but you don't come in for me when I got a leg infection from doing a full leg tattoo in one sitting off some dumbass numbing cream I came up with. Like, I thought it was a stunt, and so did everybody else. That, like, that's comparing apples to oranges. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. So yeah, Jojo, I agree. I love you. Thank you for checking in. But yeah, speaking of Spice, and then since we were talking about Saucy and him only having 5 people at the beginning of his show, and then it filled up, and I was saying, God don't like ugly, because how he was talking to Spice. But speaking of Spice, Spice got on the internet this past weekend and went the fuck off, y'all. She was talking about Saucy. She got wind that Saucy was talking about her on the internet. I'm sure she's seen Saucy in last week's episode at the magazine release party for Jessica White, saying that, Spice don't know nothing about style, but she's here to observe and all of that. I had to ask my husband to translate, because her Jamaican accent be thick. But bottom line, she was calling him a pot roast, rump roast, stuffed turkey. She said his breath stink, he stink, he's sweating all the time, smelling like sweat. She went off on Saucy, and I was sitting there like, I'm waiting for his response in 3, 2, 1. Right now, he too busy making a Shake the Titty song about that, viral video he had, his boobs jumping up and down. He too busy promoting that right now. But I am curious to see, has he gotten around to her video, because it was everywhere. I was crying listening to it, and I want to see if he has a response for it. Right, Toria. I think you're talking about Ciara. Yeah, a choice she made to do a full leg tattoo in one sitting with some numbing cream that she apparently says was so good she didn't realize that, like, who did this tattoo and why wouldn't they tell you that's not a good idea? So you almost lost your leg off some foolishness you did. Like, girl, bye. But yeah, if y'all haven't seen Spice video, I had it in my my Instagram story and Facebook story over the weekend. But just Google her, or not even Google, just put her like her hashtag in social media and see all that she said about Saucy this past weekend. I was rolling. Tori said, I am over Spice because regardless of her being nominated for a Grammy, people still don't know her. I don't know not one song. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't sound good in English. Yeah, I don't necessarily think she's well known in the States other than being on Love and Hip Hop, which has helped grown her from a like, oh, I know that person that's always dressed in blue with a blue wig on. But it seems like she's more well known in other countries like Jamaica, like London, those places. And, she's nominated. I give her credit for that. But, right. Do I know more Saucy songs than I know Spice songs? Because I'm with you too. I don't know none of Spice songs. But, I give her respect for that. But that's about it. And what he said about the ciphers of this a song, it was some clown shit for real. So I agree. So then we also see Jasmine meet up with her mom. And again, we get to see her boo Rod, which I didn't know Rod was still around. If you don't know, and they did show a flashback though, so you should know. But Rod was on the show previously when Jasmine had just had Cannon, and she had not come out to tell anybody that it was Kirk's child. And I really believe that Rod was more, because they seem to have been in an on again, off again relationship. But to me, it seemed like Rod was more in the realm of raising Cannon as his son, probably not even saying that Kirk was the father and leaving it at that. But Jasmine opened that can of worms, started telling everybody, and it got back to Rashida, and then everything went left. But I feel like Rod would have just raised Cannon with her without even ever mentioning that. But didn't know he was still around and raising Cannon and being a father figure in his life all this time. Good for him. Kudos for him. And this is where Jasmine was talking about money. Now, I know what you said. You said Jasmine looked younger than who? Her mom? Some people was on my post talking about some Jasmine mom Oh, Jasmine mom look younger than her. Jasmine is doing a lot to her face, Toria. She's doing a lot to her face. Like you could tell in that scene. I don't know who's doing her Botox, but her lip right here was like this. It was giving Joker vibes, but I could see her lip was like this. You can tell her lips are filled. The body looked good though. You can tell she had a BBL with some of Kirk money. But face wise, she's starting to do a lot of fillers and stuff, and it's just not, she look cute, you know, but it's just not, it's too much. She putting too many mls in there. But somebody said that Jasmine mom look like a broke Cardi B. I cannot. The things y'all say in my comments that I be rolling about, yo, I cannot. Okay. But Jasmine, now Toria, I know earlier you were saying that, let me go back to your comment. You were saying that, now were you saying, Toria, that Jasmine said that the $1,000 that she was supposed to get a month that she wasn't getting, and she went back to court to get more? Because how I understood it was that he's giving her $1,000. That's not enough. He reneged on the figure that they talked about in last season, that they came to an agreement on. He reneged on that, and that's why she went back to court to get more than the $1,000. That's what I took from the conversation last night. And I was just saying, you know, looking at it again from both sides, I know women that only get $75 a month. I know women that don't get nothing a month, $200 a month. So $1,000, if you are actively working, you're a bar star, putting that together, that's a piece, you know, a nice piece of change. So I see it from both sides, and then I see where, $1,000 a month that don't cover private school and clothes and food. The grocery store is high right now, so I saw it from both sides. I don't know, Tori. I'm gonna go back and watch it again because I think I got the clip too. But I really thought she said all he's giving me is $1,000. They came up with an agreement, and he reneged on that, so she went back to court. I don't know, but I'll go back and watch the clip because I had it up. Also, I had it up on my page earlier. I also was cracking up, y'all, because when Roz said that Cannon don't identify Kirk as his father, that he called him Yaya, I hollered, y'all, because I know Yaya to be what you call a grandmother, like your grandmother. And some people, they use that Yaya instead. So the fact that he said Cannon calls Kurt Yaya, I was hollering. I ain't even gonna hold you. But Rod seems to be level headed and telling Jasmine, like, look, you need to extend an olive branch, even though, things aren't going the way you want them to, or they're trying to take full custody. You need to extend the olive branch. Olive branch, y'all got a lot of years left, the rest of your lives with this being your son and Kirk's son. So work it out. Put your big girl panties on, but she was not trying to do that. She said she will never do that. So Rod, I was about to call him Yaya again, but Rod then I guess makes the decision he's gonna go sit down with Kirk, which we will talk about in a second. Also, we flipped back to the One Fest, and we saw Bambi and Ciara talk to Saucy, and they had a quick conversation about Spice there too, where he didn't want to do the ciphers of the A because he felt like it was clown shit. Bambi and Ciara are saying that they doing a cipher. They said they're doing a ciphers of the A volume 2, basically, and it's going to be a positive. It's going to be a positive song. They're not going to be dissing on there. They're going to be uplifting, positive. So they're doing like a We Are the World rap version, per se. So we'll see how that turns out. I was like, oh, okay. I ain't heard that on the internet, so I don't know if they finished it, but we'll see what happens on the rest of the season. So then we see Jessica White. Jessica White finally goes and sits down with her niece to get the receipts or full details on her niece and what happened with Mandices. And I was saying, you already done spread this through the group to Shakana, no less, with the loudest, biggest mouth in the South.
You spread it to her, to all the other women that Mendices tried to holler at your niece, and now you go get the full details and the receipts. Now, why'd you do that? You should have did that before you opened your mouth. But she sits down with her niece, and her niece seems a little hesitant, but she's asking, okay, well, what happened? And she was like, well, what do you think happens when a man is, walking around with no ring on? But her niece pulled up her DM. She's saying she never gave Mendices her phone number, but she pulls up her DMs. Now, call me crazy, but it seemed like her niece had reached out to Mendices first, because she said hello, and then he said, hey, love, where you at these days, or something like that. It seemed like to me in that moment, anyways, until later down the line when Yandy said she was the one that hit her up. It felt like to me the niece had reached out first. But in all honesty, listen, do I want my husband talking in DMs at all with a woman? Absolutely not. But there was nothing concrete there that she was like, I have to go back and tell Yandy this before it gets to her some other way. Like the DM, or unless there was more to the DM that was not read, it was kind of like, hey, how are you? Where are you at these days? Miami or somewhere? And that's all they read. She asked what happened at the bar club they were at together. She said, well, he sat next to me the whole time trying to talk to me. She didn't give any details. It didn't seem like they had messed around, slept with each other, had any phone conversations, because you say you never gave your phone number. It was disrespectful if it was coming from Mendices, yes. But then again, also to me, it was like, this is all the receipts you have? He tried to holler at you, like, did he send you a peen pic? What's going on here? It was very surface level, and the way Jessica treated the situation and crying in front of Yandy, we'll get into that, but just like saying, ooh, I done kicked my camera, y'all. But saying that she has to go back to tell Yandy this before it gets back to her, it made no sense to me. Yes, and we'll get into that. Yandy saying that she was the one DMing. I didn't necessarily believe that, because I didn't, but we'll get into that in a second. Tori said Yandy being childish playing these middle school games. Right. She needs to tell herself and her husband to stop. Her husband put himself in these situations, so she needs to check him. That's what I said, Tori. She's sitting there yelling at the camera, yelling at us, telling us to stop it. No, tell him to stop it. Yell at that man next to you. The simple fact is of it, and we can get into it, because Jessica went and she told Yandy, crying like she was about to end her world, and Yandy was saying that, oh, that was me DMing. I DM from his messages, and her story had some pieces in it that I was believing. That it seemed like the niece had went up to Mendices, was being aggressive, asked him, is he still married? He wasn't wearing the ring. And she's saying that she DM'd the girl and it took her a few days to get back to it. But my thing was, Yandy was saying in that conversation that the conversation between Jessica White's niece and Mendices didn't look good. He looked nervous. The fact that you question what he's doing, that you have to be in his DMs, that you out here using his DM to DM other girls, that shows that, not saying you have any insecurities, but there's a lack of trust there. So don't yell in the camera at me telling me don't break up your home. You don't have to worry about women with him. We don't go through that period, yada, yada, yada. Who you trying to convince, us or yourself? Because there's a reason why you did that middle school shit that you did, like Toria said. Like, there's a reason why you was questioning the conversation that he had and didn't think it looked right. He shouldn't even be in those type of predicaments. And the fact that you saying he looked nervous, and then she also seemed scared to tell him that she had been in his DMs, because she said it to Jessica as if he's aware. She was like, yeah, because I be in his DMs. She said it like he's aware, that she's okay with her checking the DMs, and then had to apologize for him for sending the DMs from from his account. It all seems a bit weird to me, and I necessarily did not know if I believe that it was really Yandy doing it or not, or if it was a like, I guess, front that she was putting up to not seem like
she needs to leave Mandy. Real talk. But I just don't know. But I just at the bottom line, I felt like don't thank you, Toria, but don't come over here yelling in the camera at me and telling me you not gonna say it again. And I also was saying to myself, you threatening and telling people what they can and cannot do and what they bet not do no more. I said that's gonna make them go harder. Gonna make these hoes go even harder, girl. You sitting up in here crying in the camera, acting tough, child. That's gonna make them hoes go even harder in the DMs. He probably got flooded with DMs last night after the episode, child. But good luck with that. Because if you trusted him and he was doing what he was supposed to do, i.e., wearing a wedding ring, we wouldn't even be here. So he says she was lying. He didn't know Yandy be in his DM. His face told it all. He was lost on what was happening. He didn't even want to be mic'd up, Tori. He was like, no, 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 no. Like he didn't even know what he was walking into. That's another guilty thing. Like, why you scared to be mic'd up? She like, yeah, get mic'd up. I'm gonna tell you something in a minute. He looked scared to death. Like, oh Lord, I'm caught. I'm caught. I'm caught. So where there's smoke, there is fire. Still, in my opinion, no real valid receipts of what he's doing. Not saying that he's not doing anything, but that wasn't the wave and that wasn't no concrete evidence, in my opinion. But getting back to Kurt's situation, Rod did end up meeting with Kurt, aka Yaya. Kurt seemed scared. Did he seem scared to y'all? Like he was like, I don't know what I'm meeting with him for. He was very respectful when he sat down in that conversation. I guess, that's cool. He was being an adult about it. But he seemed scared or like he didn't know what he was walking into. But they sit down and they're talking. Not AKA Yaya. He is. I'm gonna start calling him Yaya. If that's what Cannon calling him, I can call him that too. But they sit down and Rod is asking about the whole asking for full custody, the child support situation. And bottom line in that conversation, Kurt pulls out his Cash App transactions, showing all this money that he sends to Jasmine. He's talking about, oh, see, she needed money to get her car fixed, 4,500 there. I also did not like, he said, I'm about 200K in on this kid. I didn't like that. Didn't seem like someone that has an actual close relationship with their son to call him this kid. And I got 200K in on this kid. That stuck out to me as, I'm really starting to believe he don't spend much time with Cannon. That's how I feel. And he always talks about what he does for Cannon from a monetary perspective. Money, 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 money. But do you spend time with him? Do you pick him up from school? Do you now at least know his teacher's name and the name of the school he go to or how old he is and his birthday? Like, do you know any of that? He always talking about from a monetary perspective that anybody could throw money at a situation, but are you really stepping in and being a father and being a dad? I'm not convinced yet. Right. So is that money for birthday? I was like, you should pay for the child B-Day party. Hello, it should be at your house, at your mansion, back in the pool. That's where the party should be. He's saying he's like a certain amount number. Like it takes more than money to exactly, Toria. We're on the same page there. I just did not understand. I understood, and it just further proves the point that I was trying to make that he don't seem to really be there for Cannon other than throwing money at him or at his mom. And Rod was feeling like a fool because he didn't know about this extra money that was being sent. But I was saying, don't feel like a fool because you the one that's really being there for him that have Cannon around him. And that's what I wanted him to say to him. Like, yeah, that's great. You throw money at him, but I want y'all to have a relationship. I want you to really be in his life. Since you trying to take full custody, he's damn near a stranger to you, it feels like, in my opinion. So Rod felt foolish. I felt like he didn't need to feel that way. But I also was thinking, Tori, and wanted to get your thoughts on it. Tori said, I just disagree with him and Rashida trying to take full custody. I do as well. I just don't agree with that. Yeah, and that's what I said earlier. I think before you came on, Tori, I was saying
Would they be asking for full custody if she wasn't asking for more money? Absolutely not. They would not be pursuing full custody at all if she was okay with whatever money they gave him and she just shut up and took that. They would not be trying to get full custody. Their custody battle is motivated by money, not by the love of Cannon. So you can set up all the rooms with the pillows with the K on it that you want, but I don't believe that. Makia said, if you notice, he always talks about how much he spends money when it comes to Rashida. Exactly. Nothing else, just monetary. But my question was for you, Toria, and anybody else that may know in the comments, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I wanted to ask y'all, now those Cash App transactions that he's scrolling through, couldn't the judge say, okay, let me see that and let me come up with the right number for you to give her on a monthly basis? If you just giving her the 1,000 and you giving her all this on the side, I would be, as Jasmine, using that to say, this is what I really need on a month-to-month basis, and let them come up with the right number for me. That's what I was thinking. Like, he keep talking about all his money and he 200K in. I was saying, bruh, you gonna end up like, you don't think the judge watch TV? Like, or be on social media? Because I was thinking that might backfire on you if you trying to get full custody. It's coming off to everyone. The perception is you only want full custody because you're trying to stop the bleeding of money to Jasmine. Now, do I think Jasmine is also using this money to take care of herself? Absolutely. But we wouldn't be here had you kept your peen in your pants. So now here's your consequences. So I don't feel sorry for Kurt at all. And Rashida's just getting involved in it because the money coming out of her her profits, pressed and everything else that they got going on, Frost Bistro and all of that. Now 8 years later, she want to get involved. Like, girl, you should have had that set up. We wouldn't be here. So I don't feel bad for them. I don't think they deserve full custody of Cannon. And I hope that those transactions on that Cash App. He said on top of that, this just on Cash App. So let's see the transactions on Zelle and Venmo and anywhere else you sending it, and then they're gonna come up with the number that she's supposed to get. That's what I think. Tori said if she's taking care of the child and she is unfit, then they wouldn't have her child support in the first place. Yeah, she's not unfit. Do I think she could be doing more with this platform to put more money in her pocket? Absolutely. At least take us to the bar a couple times and let us see you do your thing in your little leotards and shaking that fat booty you got. Do something so that you can bring some people into the bar. Do that. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, hi Sam Sports. Thank you for checking in on Instagram. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. Why not do that? But everybody else on these shows, they got cooking books and ingredients. They making songs. Do something, girl. Sell some lashes or something. Shake your booty in your bar star costume and say I'm at this bar right here or something, so that people could come down. I don't get it. Tori says she's missing bags, a lot of them. Right. Like, I mean, she is a Fashion Nova ambassador now, so she's probably getting a little check from that. She's a Fashion Nova ambassador. But yeah, like, be a content creator. Get some more ambassador or brand deals. Do something. But she ain't doing nothing with her Instagram. Nothing. Nothing with her social medias. Just on this show. Mad that she only getting $1,000, but apparently she's getting some more on the side. So I don't know. I just feel like, right, she could be doing much more with this platform. She's been on here how many seasons now? I mean, I know she took a little hiatus because they wasn't really checking for her, but from the time that she was on up until now, you know, BBL is an investment. Ain't that what Auntie and what Young Tia said? You can't have a BBL and just working a 9 to 5. You got to make an investment out of it. So go on and take that booty and make an investment. Something. So yeah, about 3 seasons, right? Tori, we done seen her on here and she ain't did nothing yet.
I was also wondering, is she still in the apartment? Oh, Makia said Kirk was paying her to play. Yeah. And I'm wondering, is she still in the apartment that he got? Remember when she first came on the scene, the apartment she was in his name. He had a whole apartment that Rashida didn't know about, and she was in it. Wonder if she's still in there. Just wondering. Because then you really straight. So I just wonder, is she still in that apartment? Because we don't never film at Jasmine's home. We never film at her home. She always getting out her Uber Black truck. She always meeting up at a restaurant. We don't see her drive, so we don't get to see where she lives at all. Never. So just wondering. But yeah, outside of that, we had a serious moment in last night's episode where Rennie and Bam checked on Saucy because of the post that we saw when it actually came out on Shade Room, where he talked about someone. He had a DV incident where he was saying that someone had beat him up in his home, and he talked about that a little bit, that he thought that was love. This is an ex-boyfriend that he started hanging out with again. He caught him DMing another gay male on vanish mode in DM, and he got upset. I'm sure Saucy got slick at the mouth, not saying that he was deserving of getting beat bloody or anything like that, but they got into an altercation. It came to blows, and he talks about thinking that that was normal, that that was the lifestyle, and even that the ex-boyfriend afterwards would be love bombing. I'm sorry, I made you dinner, buying stuff. But also saying, like, I think you like this. You like this lifestyle. You want someone tough and hard all the time. And Rennie said, yeah, as a woman, you want a man that's tough, but you want a man that's tough against the world, not against you. So that was a very positive moment for them to have that conversation, for Rennie to share what's happened to her, and the cut on her arm and things like that. So that was the only positive, heartfelt conversation that we saw. Now, Toria, they did not mention who the ex is, and the thing is, Toria, Saucy got so many men, I'm not even sure. It can't be Chef D, because Chef D don't even come across like that, and the fact that Chef D is still around to this day. I don't believe it was Zell. Zell is not, Zell just more hiking on you all the time. So I don't know. But he got so many men. I couldn't tell you who it is. I'll try to do some research, and I doubt he pressed any charges or even called the police. So it's hard to tell, but I don't think it was Chef D or Zell. That I don't. Tori said, and I'm like, you left this abusive ex for 2 years while you with Zell. Then you leave Zell and be with baldhead Chef D. So where did this guy come from? But you heard him. He said he rotate them. We only see the ones that he allowed for us to see on the show, but there's more. So I have no idea. And is he ever just with one person when he's with Zell or Chef D? I doubt it. I doubt it. Very, very doubtful. So I'm gonna look into it a little more and see if I can find anything out. But I was on the same page with y'all. I'm like, it's he said he got so many. Who knows? Who really knows? But I'm hoping one thing though, that he's done with that person completely and not going back. So that was the only positive part on the episode. But yeah, other than that, we already talked about Jessica White going and crying and telling Yandy saying she's the one that was DMing. We'll see the aftermath of that conversation if Mandisi's take his ring off again because she was in his DMs, DMing women, acting like she was him. I personally don't believe that was it. I feel like she was saving face and covering up for Mandisi so that they can continue to live in Delulu land. But that's what she had to say about it. I personally did believe though that Jessica's niece may have came up to him first, or was grabbing him, talking about, you still married? You still married? I don't believe that he was just lusting all over her. That I don't believe. But yeah, Yandy said, think again, you bitches. I'm saying to myself, tell your man that, okay? talk to your man, yell at your man. Like, they always mad with us as viewers. They always mad with the other woman, but never mad at the man. Like, never mad. Well, Rashida said she was mad at Kurt, but we ain't see that. I guess she kept that private. But her disdain for Jasmine is very public. So make it just as public for Kurt. And I don't agree with Jasmine when she says that he gets away with it. Thanks, Charnel. Appreciate you. Thank you for checking in. But yeah, I do not agree with Jasmine when she say, "Oh, Kurt gets off scot-free. Everyone's forgiving him." No, Rashida may have forgiven him. The ladies on the show may not say much to him out of respect for Rashida, but I still think both of y'all are trash for what you did. So it's equal over here for me. I don't get why she says that. I think Kurt also catches still a lot of heat online, and everybody think that Rashida should leave him, that all the stress of this is in her bags, under her eyes. So I don't get why she feels it's just her who catches hell. I think they both do, but in that friend group, they like Rashida. So we'll see. But next episode, we're going to, we'll see what happens after that conversation with Yandy and Mandisi. Do he keep his ring off? Do he take it off? We're going to go back to the situation where Rashida was acting oblivious to Jasmine and her friend confronting Mandisi and Yandy last season at the Ciphers of the A concert, because Erica Banks is going to spill the tea that, oh, Rashida, you said you did hear what had went down after y'all left and that you didn't know. And that's what she remember when she met up with Yandy and Mandisi's, because they was feeling like they catching hell on the internet over Jasmine and Kurt, and they're not saying anything or stepping in to kind of mediate the situation. So we definitely will see. Toria, yes, that's exactly what K. Michelle said. I put that on my post today. I don't know if it transferred over to from Instagram to Facebook. But when I put up my flyer about today's podcast, I'll use that as my song on it. Rashida got bags. Get Kurt out the room. I used that today. So I did, but yeah, we're gonna definitely see some more here. Toria, is that what it was? So Toria said, what about when Saucy rubbed his head? Do do the black spray come off? I am cracking myself up. I remember seeing that clip, and they knocked Chef D sprayed on hair off. But as far as that, I did not know that Saucy had that bald spot that we saw in the back of his head when he was performing last night at the One Fest. I was like, oh, I haven't seen that. I don't know if it's because he always wearing hats, or then sometimes have on the wigs, but maybe that's where the spray needs to be concentrated at, honey. Right up in there, because that was very visual when they did that glance over him when he was down off the stage at the One Fest. I said, oh, bet he didn't know they was going to show that. He should have performed with a hat on at One Fest. But yeah, it was a good episode nonetheless. I liked the episode of ATL this week more than I did Love and Hip Hop Miami. If you didn't see my Love and Hip Hop Miami recap, that is up on my YouTube channel. Make sure you go over there, link in bio if you're watching from Instagram or Facebook. Make sure you guys, please like this video, guys. Please, I appreciate it. Like this video, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my recaps. If ever you miss a piece of my lives or you missed the live altogether, all of my recaps are loaded on YouTube. Also, to get the piping hot tea on all the reality news, make sure you're following me on Instagram and Facebook. I appreciate your support so much. I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow won't be a live session, but it will be pre-recorded. So again, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you, Tori. I appreciate you also. And yeah, set your alerts. Tomorrow's recap will be on last night's episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I miss you guys after tomorrow because we don't have Love After Lockup right now, but it's coming back soon. We don't have Love and Marriage Huntsville right now. And our RHOP is done, but we got Real Housewives of Atlanta premiering on Sunday. I cannot wait. We still got Married to Medicine, Married to the Mean Girls, whatever you want to call it. So after tomorrow's recap of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I won't be back until Monday because we have no shows right now. But I'm enjoying this little break. I'm not going to hold you. I am enjoying this little break. And yes, I'm getting ready to start. I was waiting till I get my hair done, y'all. You know, I just been trying to figure out what I want to do with my hair next. But I'm about to start giving you guys a daily review, like a daily reality news recap. Just a little green screen from TikTok. I'll post them across my social media platforms. So Daily T is on the way. So make sure you guys look out for that and follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I appreciate you guys. Now, before I get out of here, as I always say, reality TV stars are humans too. Don't forget that. It is your girl V with Reality Recap. Set your alerts for tomorrow's recap of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Happy hump day, y'all. Peace.